Hello. I promise you, every single week, it looks like they change something
Nothing should be that hard.
on Facebook Live. I feel like it changes every single week, but it is all good. So tonight we wanted to talk about what does partnership look like in your relationship. And the reason I thought about this, it was two things that happened in the past week or so that made me think about it. And if you all could type in the comments and let us know you're here, because we cannot see.
We can't see who's watching.
Who's watching. Facebook has changed so much, so it's hard to see on live. So if you can just type hello, so we'll know that you're here. But so two things that I saw in the news, or just saw, and it made me think about this particular subject. So first, a couple weeks ago we talked about, hey Michaela.
Hey Michaela. Will and Jada.
We talked about Will and Jada, that whole slap thing, and we talked about what does protecting your spouse look like. And then after last week, Jada came out and she talked about how she was a woman that didn't need protecting. And again, she kind of just, it felt like she was distancing herself.
She ran her husband out of the bus.
Yeah, pretty much. It was very different. Just not what most of us would have expected. Then, the other thing, the next thing I heard was Robert's favorite quarterback, Cam Newton, making comments about how women should... You just gonna make that noise?
I made it before.
Women should cater to their man's needs, and he also made the comment about how they need to know when to be silent.
They need to cook and be silent. Silent, punk.
Wow. Anyway, so he made that comment. I was like, this is 2022, right? So, and he said that's what he saw growing up, and his parents have been married 36, 37 years. Mm-hmm. And so he felt like that worked. And so when I thought about both of these scenarios, I said...
You got real English with that, didn't you?
I said, it's interesting. Neither one of those sounded like partnership. It really sounded like, in one scenario, it was like you on your own. You do you, I do me. The other one sounded like it was a very one-sided relationship, in the sense of, a woman should cater to a man's needs, but he said nothing about taking care of her. And I said, what about partnership? Because marriage is a partnership. And everyone's partnership looks different, but everyone's needs should be a priority. And so I should work to meet Robert's needs, that he needs out of the relationship from me, and he should work to do the same for me. It looks different. So ours would look different from another couple. But to have the expectation of one person to do all of the work, or to operate as separate silos, like as if, you know, you do you, I do me, for one, why would that be, why are we even in a marriage if it's you do you and I do me, if we're not even gonna operate together? And the other thing is, it can't just be one person just doing all of what the other person says. A woman needs to cater, and it shouldn't be a man just catering to a woman. I've seen marriages where it seems like the man is doing everything to make sure his wife is happy. You know, everyone says, you know, happy wife, happy life, but it's really a happy spouse, happy house. So
That's
both
Mario
people need to
said
be.
they're on the church.
Oh, hey Destiny, hey Mario. So I think it takes both. It takes both. So, babe, you want to add to that?
Well, it definitely takes both. I definitely don't agree with Cam, and I definitely don't agree with Jada. Just strictly from my own viewpoint. I ain't gonna get into the whys. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. Hey, Raphael.
Hey,
But
hey, Miss Jackie.
I will say that Cam's, you're talking about two different generations, two different genders, and both seem to be self-serve from a female standpoint and then from a male standpoint with Cam Newton and Jada. But it's about partnership, and this is the hard part of the different philosophical views, and really some of it could be based on, of course, Cam's father was a pastor or is a pastor, I think, something of that nature. So that's what he saw growing up. But if he wants a relationship that's going to last, I think during this age, now somebody probably going to do it, and they're going to be, you know, whatever, just because that's who he is. But for the average household, you better not try that at the average household. You might be, now don't get me wrong, it's a partnership, and there's a discussion, but it's not a dictatorship.
Right.
You know, when normally on Sundays, well, here lately, Mel been doing all the cooking because she's been working from home. But typically, I will cook during the week, and Mel will cook on Sundays because that's my busiest, most blessed day, but it's also a stressful day as well. You know, so y'all can take that however you want to take it. But when I come home, I know Mel is going to cook. On the flip side of that, when she does preach on Sundays, I make it my mission to make sure that she does nothing but get what she gives me every other Sunday when I have to preach. I let her rest, I cook, I try and cater to her as she does for me on Sundays, because I know what it takes. But that's not every household. That works in our partnership. And your partnership, like we always discuss so much, is about your culture.
It's about the culture.
Some women want that in their man. They want a man to say, I want XYZ, 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 you know. But there are some men who don't need that to validate their manhood,
Right.
you know. So it's about relationships, I believe, and it's about developing those partnerships along the way. because we just didn't start off like that. I think we was kind of bumping into one another. Well, we was both, you know, we didn't have any children at the time, so really, we really started cooking heavy, probably since Post been born, maybe.
Yeah,
because we would just pick something up
yeah.
and go, you know, or we would meet somewhere for dinner, or I'm working late or she working late, she'll take whatever, or we'll just stop at our individual times. But we really didn't start cooking at home until Hope was born.
Yeah,
more or less.
Before it was,
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, and this is the thing, again with partnership, where are you in life? Where are you? So when we first got married, it was just the two of us. A lot of times, then a lot of times at some point, the kids came. They're like, our daughter, our oldest, her and our grandson stayed with us for a little while. In the summertime, our son and our other daughter would be here. So it depends. But for the most part, so there were times when I was in school.
Yeah.
Rob was in school.
Yeah.
We were very, very busy at church. So a lot of times we would go straight
from work
to church.
Mm-hmm.
So either for Bible study, or it was choir rehearsal, or it was
meeting or meeting.
So
and then the CFL added.
Yeah, so it was just so much. Yeah. So a lot of times our life, we had to always communicate, always say, and so what we're saying is, in a partnership, you have to move with what's going on in your life. And it can't be, when I was in school, I was working full time, I was in school, and this was when I was finishing up my undergrad. Mm-hmm. I was working full time, I was in school, and there was no way I was going to be able to do that and sustain for Robert to say, well, you gotta cook everything. You gotta clean. You gotta serve me. I would have lost it. He took it upon himself to say, hey, I'm gonna take the load, because that's what we were.
Yeah. Things
have changed tremendously. The pandemic has changed our whole dynamic. Yeah. I work from home. For a long time, he was the one that had the flexibility to be at home. And I was working, so he did a lot of the cooking and the cleaning around the house because he had a lot more flexibility. I was working very long hours, but the pandemic has changed that.
It has.
He's in the office more. I work from home, so I can do a whole lot. But the thing of it is, one, it works for us. And not just partnership at home. We're partners in ministry.
Yeah.
We are partners in life. We are partners as parents. Even with like the kids. So with Hope, who we have together, we have to constantly talk about how we're going to handle raising her. Mm. And
we're about to get real busy with Hope.
Yeah. And so we have to be partners, because a lot of times we don't always agree on how discipline works. We don't always agree. I mean, we joke about it, but sometimes I do feel Rob he's a lot lenient on her, but he'll be the first to say he is, because it's hard for him to tell her no. But he'll understand when I have to be the heavy, but I also have to know when I need to pull back too. So again, that's what partnership looks like, and it can't be always my way is the highway, and that can't be either me saying that or him saying that. We have to be open to hear. And the thing that happens, I think, and babe, you can add to this too, I think what happens in relationships, sometimes we don't hear each other. Like, we don't hear. We just say partnership takes constant. And flexibility. Yes.
Hey, little girl.
Yes. Hey, boo.
Yeah, it is something that needs all three of those components and some more added to that, you know. But it takes absolutely takes communication. You know, and we did this before Hope when we first got married. Cell phones weren't out then. All we relied on was the last email. We relied on the last email. And, hey, little
You
girl.
want to speak? Come on.
Hi.
Say hey. You gonna go to bed? Okay.
Good night, little girl. I love you. So, but it takes it takes that, and to do that without, you know, I just thought about this. We didn't have email. We literally was. I mean, we had not email. We didn't have cell phones then, and you know, it came out maybe a year or so afterwards. So that was real popular, at least anyway. But
You aging us bad.
shut up. I'm aging myself. Shut up. But that was a Krispy Kreme days too. That was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
But at any rate, let me get back on track. See, throwing me off. Always throwing me off. But it takes constant communication. And you have to be flexible. And sometimes, man, it's like I need to hit every green light. I don't need to stop nowhere. I don't need no traffic in my way. I got places to go. I got stuff to do. But everything has to be just lined up some days. But when it's not, it throws everything off.
And it happens.
Everything off.
You know, Lynn made the perfect point.
She
She
did.
said partnership takes constant. It does say constant.
Constant
Yeah,
communication.
constant communication
And flexibility.
and flexibility.
Yeah.
And the flexibility, the constant communication is key, but that flexibility, because it just something happens and it's like, hey, babe, we you know, you got to swerve. We got to swerve this way. That's something Michelle Obama talked about in her book, and she was just talking about life swerves. But every day we hit swerves. Anything happens, you know. Hope may call, something happens in school, we got to pick her up, and it throws, you know, it'll throw us off.
There's a wrinkle in the smooth
So,
ocean, man.
you know, it's like, okay, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, or something happens, I got to work late, or, you know, Rob may have to work late. So flexibility means what was
That's
priority
right.
yesterday is not, it is.
That's right.
Priorities change every single day.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
And we really have to be flexible. But this is everyone. But one of the things we have to be flexible about is because ministry, we have to factor that in. So if we have a church member that may need something, and, you know, we need to go to the hospital, or we need to go down to Lexington to check something out, you know, we just have to move. And thank goodness, praise God, we have a village.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And we're grateful. And so, you know, that we have people we can call if we need someone to, you know, if we can't do it between ourselves. And everyone doesn't have that. But what I would say is, and I think we can say in your partnership, have some built village or a built, and it may not be your family, because a lot of people, you're only here, or where you are, and it may just be you and your spouse and your children. But
we're blessed. We have both.
We do.
We do. We have good supportive family. If we call, we'll go. And it's a lot of time the alarm is raised with Mel and not so much me. So she's the first one that gets to, you know, what number to dial first. I don't get that option a lot. But we have both on our families, and we have friends who are like family, you know. But we can call them and say, hey, can Hope come and spend the night? Or whatever. What are y'all doing tonight? Let's come on over. Do whatever. But we have both that they can call us and we can call them. And we just make it work, you know. So you need a village. You really need a village. Yeah.
Even if you don't have children, we had a village just within our marriage.
We did.
And I say that because there are times when you just need healthy relationships around you.
Yeah.
That helps support. This thing can get like, oh. And just to have people to fellowship, people to talk to, people to laugh and joke with, people that will pray with you and ain't throwing your stuff out there.
And it's part of your partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Your partnership really needs a partnership. You know, it's kind of yin and yang outside of the household. You know, we bounce everything off of one another.
And people you
all,
trust. I wouldn't say a whole bunch of people.
Definitely people you can trust.
Yeah, but it's your inner circle.
Yeah.
So, you know, partnership goes. So I think you have like the nucleus that is we have our us against the world. That's it. Period. Point blank. But then outside of that, there is our partnership that we have to have. You have to partner with other people. We are built for relationship. We are built for relationship. We are not meant to do anything by ourselves.
That's what the Bible is. It's about relationships. That's it. We're built to have those, man.
We are.
You're built to have relationships.
We're built to have them.
Yeah.
So, does anyone have it? Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions or comments? Thank you, Lynn, for your comments. The one thing we are thinking about doing, and we would love if you would just say yes. I know some of you all don't like to comment. I don't know if you're in the witness protection plan and you don't want anyone to know that you're on here. But one of the things we're thinking about doing is either one Saturday out of the month to do a prayer on just a prayer call or on Facebook Live to come on and do prayer for relationships, for marriages, for families. Maybe just once a month. But we know that families, marriages, people, that is just a lot going on. Yeah. And so we were thinking about, it'll just maybe be 5 or 10 minutes, nothing long, but just coming on and just having prayer with you all. If you're interested, just you can type in a yes or send us an inbox or something. If you're interested, we want to just gauge, and I may put a poll out on the page or in the group to see if there's interest, and we would do that. If there's not interest, we may do it, may not do it.
Well, you gotta be obedient, but you're gonna do it.
Well, I can do it by myself.
Yeah,
I don't have to go on. Yeah, I'll just be praying. I mean, I pray for marriages anyway.
I know, but I'm just saying you can do it live too. Just,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I will. So, but so tonight we really, truly and very true. I don't think we ever can get too much prayer. I know I can't. I need all I can get.
And some more.
And some more. So definitely. But we thank you all for joining us tonight. Remember, we said we were not going to do these long. We were just going to hit what we were going to hit. I have our topics give just little nuggets. And the biggest thing is look at what partnership means for your relationship. Thank you, Destiny. We're live on our church page too, so we have people watching over there. The thing of it is, define what partnership looks like for you and your relationship, and it doesn't look the same for everyone. It really, really doesn't. And the biggest thing is, I will tell people, I get these snippets from stuff I read, but please don't let Hollywood define your relationship, because first of all, half that stuff they put out there probably is not even true, and they dealing with their own stuff.
It's a small percentage of people that are talking about this. That small percent just happens to seep through your timeline. I promise you. That's not the main topic on
no.
Not even in the news. I mean, they didn't. I think it just ran a cycle, but now it's just rehashing, and you know, next year you're gonna see the slap again next year, and yada 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 yada, and they're gonna spark it back up again. Just just unplug from that part of the matrix, man, and just let it ride. It's gonna be what it is. They ain't paying none of my bills, and I'm praying for them. Don't get me wrong, I really am, but they ain't paying none of my bills. I ain't trying to spend no more mental time thinking about them no more. I got my own mess to deal with. You heard me? That's what I'm just saying. I mean, I ain't dealing with them like that. No. They ain't doing that for me. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. 803 Laurel Avenue.
Say that. No.
360. Yeah. You know.
That one.
Yeah.
So, thank you all for joining us tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, God bless you. Pray for us as we continue to pray for you. Have a good night.
Good night, you all. Rob Mel.